Video. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joji Movie So Awesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
We're going to talk about Ozark, Season 4, Part 2, and the whole series as a whole. Ozark has concluded. If you didn't watch the finale or any Ozark episode, please leave this video right now. Spoilers.
Major spoiler alert.
Spoilers. So, I gotta say, that ending, it was not a whimper, but it was kind of for me like, that happened. That was, I guess that's an ending. You know.
Yeah, so I'm not exactly completely satisfied with the ending because I was hoping for this to be more of a greater tragedy.
Okay. You thought one of the Byrdes were going to die, right?
Or all of the Byrdes were going to die.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in my mind, I did think she was going to die. Charlotte, the daughter. You know, but I guess if you think about it, though, it's still better than Game of Thrones ending. But, you know, you have to remember this world, the Byrdes always win. And the good does not get rewarded and the bad punished.
Yeah, so after concluding the entire series, I now kind of see the Byrdes as like a parasite. They're like a parasite.
No, but there are a lot of... I mean, in Season 4, the references are less. But in prior seasons, there was... remember, I think it was Season 1... where like the kid watches the bird ruining the ecosystem. Yeah. And there are a lot of lines where the characters keep telling Marty that before you came here, we were fine. But after you came here, you messed it up.
Yeah, and Jonah was trying to kill those Byrdes. And it's funny because their last name, their family name is also the Byrdes.
Yeah, so there was a lot of hints on that. That being said, that was prior seasons. This season, the biggest disappointment for me was the car accident scene. Like, I guess what they were trying to do was open interpretation for us. Yeah. Because after the car accident, the cardinal tells the
that might have been the last warning from God.
Yeah, but Wendy says no.
It's a sign that we're gonna make it.
Yeah. So what I have a problem with is I don't have a problem with the ending per se. I also don't have a problem with Ruth dying. Because that was just heavily... The moment he killed Javi, and then afterwards, they show us a family of all the Langmore spirits coming in.
Yeah, I mean, let's dive into that for a while. So this is seen from a lot of these Greek tragedies and other tragedies where the character sees these ghosts or apparitions of the deceased. Yeah. And it usually implies and kind of foreshadows that the characters themselves are going to die. But what gave me the idea that Ruth was definitely going to die was when she buried Nelson under that pool. Because remember, Ruth had her name... She had her name cleared, and she was able to start fresh, brand new. And she tore down all those old trailer park homes, and she was starting new. But the moment she buried a body under it, I was thinking, okay, she's not gonna make it out of this alive. That was like, to me, the biggest hint that she was not gonna make it. Because you can't start fresh by burying a body.
I didn't mind that. It's just okay, but
and also when Marty suggests her that PI who can get her new identity, and she refuses, and she says that she likes her name, because remember, throughout the entire show, the Langmores are cursed. You do not want to have that name, Langmore. And she just chooses to stay cursed.
I don't know though. Like, I still feel like the season could have been shorter then. Like there were scenes that, I mean, if they were gonna, because there are a lot of unanswered questions here too. What happened to that baby that Delmore and they were raising? And
what was the baby's name? Zeke.
Yeah,
that's right. Zeke.
And that cartel boss just getting dying like that. And I also didn't like Javi's mother's like sudden inclusions
and sudden rise to power.
Yeah, I mean there was just a lot of things that were. So here's the problem: some things were going too fast, and some things were just going too slow for me. I wish they would just erase a character. Like I didn't need like the Javi mother character.
I don't know, but to me, it just seems like it was badly scripted. Because remember, we just mentioned Zeke. You know, all these characters and all these little elements, they held meaning in previous seasons. They were like symbols, but now they're just meaningless.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm saying like, I like to justify a part 2. I don't think there were either too much or too little at the same time. And don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed the whole entire show up to now, and even the finale is fine. It's just that I have to say, this has been, not just because it's the final ending, because endings are always difficult. I get that. But you mentioned writing. Yeah, that's another thing. Another thing is, like, I also had a problem with pacing. Like, there were moments in, like, episode 1, I was so bored. Like, Killer Mike, okay, like, shout out to Killer Mike. He was awesome. His cameo was awesome and all that. But, like, after Javi died, I was expecting some kind of
shitstorm.
Yeah, at least something, like, more. But suddenly there were so many things in between about Wendy like putting herself in the psych ward, pretending to be too sick to talk to her kids, and that father conflict. I did not like that father conflict at all. Like, I mean, so I think they should have just went the thriller route, like, because remember, if you want to have meaning, it needs build up. But there were only little hints that, I don't know, like Wendy's dad was that crazy and Ruth helping them out. Like, why do you need like Marty and Wendy and Ruth to make peace again for? And another thing that I did not like is like Marty suddenly not caring about Ruth, like suddenly like that.
Yeah. Oh, but now that you mention it, one thing I did like was Wendy's father. I kind of liked that character.
You did? I didn't like
because
him.
I was expecting him to be, you know, just like a stick. I was expecting him to be like a completely flat character, but the way they gave this character a little twist was interesting enough for me.
So, but if you're gonna make us like, see, I think this is what
was his name? Nathan?
No, I think this is what they were trying to do. They were trying to like make us like feel this way and then feel that way and feel this way and feel that way about characters and situations. Even about Wendy, because after everything that happened in the past, we feel like Wendy is like a king bitch. But like now they show us like, no, it's not completely Wendy's fault. Yeah. Her dad was this like sexist, batshit crazy Christian, but
abusive and cheating and
no, but they kind of, that was fine, but you have to remember, Wendy already crossed the line of forgivable.
That's right.
Like she had her brother killed to protect her family, so to speak, she says. And she has this Heisenberg moment. Remember in like the last season of Breaking Bad when Walter tells Skyler that I did it for me. It wasn't for family. I loved it. I liked it. That's the truth. And so,
she has that moment in the psych ward with her kids.
No, see, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, there's too little in some things, too much in some things. But they just, I don't know. This is just my feeling. They don't blend in together that well. That scene itself was good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good point.
That scene itself was good because that scene is not really about Charlotte, but about the boy. Because that's the main, like, he's the smart one out of the two. So so, like, I said I wish this season was shorter, right? This part. Then if they're going to go into that deep dive, I think they should have added an episode or two then to conclude the things about Zeke and other plot lines we didn't see, because the kid suddenly becoming ready to kill that PI to protect his family, and Marty was like, "That's our boy, murderer slash money launderer,
money launderer prodigy."
See, I didn't hate that. That was good, because the show is basically telling us, why are you surprised? Don't you remember him shooting the glass window at the house, and Buddy was there to prevent it, but we got a hint that he actually has...
next time this happens again, he's going to be ready to shoot.
Yeah, but see, there's just so much in between that and that happening. Because they didn't give us enough breadcrumbs in the middle.
That's true. And now that I think about it, compared to season... I mean, if I run all the seasons in my head right now, it's not exactly coherent.
Yeah.
Because remember, when we see Marty in season 1, he had his own initiative. We could clearly tell. But by the time we come to part 2 of season 4, we see Marty saying, in his own words, that his wife is basically like driving the entire family off a cliff. He's completely helpless for some reason. You know, it just keeps... It kept making me question, like, why is he doing this then?
No, but you know what though? Let me say this though. I agree with you. Remember that fighting with the guy in the traffic scene? I think the script needed just one more rewrite. Then it would have been perfect. Because I kind of get what they're trying to do. It was kind of deep. It was deep for moments, but unlike last season of Breaking Bad, it didn't have like. It didn't mix well. There were sudden jumps because honestly, when Javi died, it wasn't as shocking as that her dying. What's that woman gangster who shot off a guy's balls?
Darlene.
Yeah, Darlene dying was kind of shocking. But Javi dying like that and immediately her mother taking over the bad role, there was just sudden rush with the cartel plot line too.
And that was very unconvincing. You know, the way Javi died. He was ambushed and he died like a dog. I mean, remember this guy's like basically the de facto leader of the cartel?
Yeah.
He has no bodyguard. He leaves that driver in the car and he just walks up alone. Yeah. So what's up with that?
No, see, this is one of the problems here. Another problem you mentioned is it's not just part 2 though. That's just season 4, part 1 too. Like the show trying to up the ante made things unbelievable for me.
Oh, and one more. Like when Javi beats up his professor from his business school in the restaurant. What's up with that? So what was the point? What were they like trying to tell us? Javi's a bad dude?
He's crazy.
Like, no, duh.
No, but I wish, you know what I wish Javi was not there and instead we keep focus on his uncle because I like that part where Marty acts as his representative.
Yeah, that was also, I mean, that was a lot more interesting.
No, that was a good scene because that was hinting that, because see, that connects with the ending because that's showing that Byrdes are becoming a mafia family and Marty actually does everything that he does.
Yeah.
He puts a guy in there and he kills him.
And he looks down now.
Yeah, exactly. So I like that layer, but now that you mentioned that, I would say this, where is it? The reason why we watch the show is Marty. And the season 3 was suddenly Wendy saying, fuck off, it's my turn. That was fine. But at least for the last season, I was kind of hoping for more arc on Marty's part.
And remember, we talked about this before, but I was hoping to see like more flashback of Marty or maybe like expect to see why he is so emotionally shut. But this second part of this season 4 didn't really give us any answers to that.
Yeah, see, that's another rush. But see, I wish there were one more episode either right in the middle of the season where that we get a hint of that ending where Marty and Wendy at least have this discussion where Marty says, you know what we are now, right? You know, we are the cartel or whatever. Something along that line. You know, or if they're going to play that, I think they should have... I thought they would kill Javi's mother.
Yeah, that's one thing I was puzzled about the last episode. Because remember, Omar gave him the number of the hitman.
Yeah.
So why couldn't he just call that number by the time she arrived?
See, I think they were doing that so we expect that to happen, but they wanted to give us a surprise. See, this is another problem with this last part. I think they were trying to balance like surprise and good story. And then it was still a good story. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. This is not Game of Thrones. But the surprise took over a little too much. Because they were trying to surprise us. The thing is, a lot of it just wasn't convincing.
Yeah, so like the moment Omar gave Marty the number of the hitman, I was thinking, oh my god, so the Byrdes are gonna like take them both out and somehow manage to get out of this alive. But then it was pretty stupid.
Yeah, I know. And I didn't like Omar dying like that too, because I thought he was like a.
I didn't really get the dude who shot Omar.
He's some like CIA guy.
So he shot his partner in the car
to justify killing Omar.
And I was thinking to myself, how what's he gonna say? Omar with his cuffs got out of the car somehow, got a hold of the gun, and perfectly aimed and shot the dude in the passenger seat with one shot. I'm like, okay, doesn't make much sense.
No, let me tell you something. That scene was well done. But, like, see, this is the thing. If all of these scenes were on a trailer, I would have been excited for the season. But after seeing the whole thing, it just doesn't connect so well. Like, suddenly Omar dies like a dog like that, and then Javi dies like a dog. Like, around episode 4, I was just thinking, like, are the Byrdes like superheroes or something? Like, why are they only one immune? See, that's why if Charlotte died, that would have. See, this has the Star Wars Last Jedi problem, where no one dies, and then there's
the only real holy shit moment in this entire part was the moment where Rachel shot Nelson. That part was like the only scene where I was really tensed up. It's like, oh my god, what the fuck's gonna happen? And the way she shot him down, it was brutal.
No, see, that scene was good, but after watching it, I was like, why is Nelson going there?
Yeah. So that was also the question I asked after I saw him getting buried underneath the new pool.
Yeah.
I was wondering, what was Nelson going to do in the first place?
Yeah.
And then I kind of came to a conclusion. Remember how Nelson warned Rachel to let the Byrdes launder the money, and they wouldn't listen. So I was thinking maybe Nelson was trying to send a stronger message.
No, but like I'm confused as who Nelson works for.
And Another thing I couldn't really understand was, why did Ruth go into the sheriff's office and tell everything? So that was also kind of abrupt for me.
No, that was actually a good scene for me. Like if that happened, because you have to remember, after that scene, Ruth basically tells the sheriff, "You can't say shit. I'm just gonna deny it. I just need someone to confess to, and then fuck you. Remember, this is politics, right? I own you, bitch. I'm rich." And then she walks out. I kind of like that. See, that's another problem. The scene itself was good, but it was suddenly like scene after scene after scene where I'm going like, so how does this connect to the whole story? Like, where's it? Because hey, see, this is the problem that happened ever since season 3. You know what the problem is? Like, first 2 seasons, there was this overriding plot where they were in danger, the Byrdes. But season 3, suddenly, like, Helen coming over and being peaceful, that's fine. But the problem with season 4 is, like, the sense of danger from Omar, it just feels less.
Yes. It's almost non-existent for me.
That's how it felt. I mean, the story's supposed to be that they're scared that the cartel or the FBI will find out. And you know who was wasted too? That FBI. And that PI's got to be the smartest, dumbest guy in the world.
Oh, the Mel dude.
No, like, see, you know what? He's smart and dumb. Like, why would you tell the person you were investigating that, see, I found out everything about you. Ha 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 ha.
DNA match.
Damn, dumbasses. And then they're like, hey, shoot him. And they're like, what the hell? Why would you? No, see, here's a better ending. If that didn't happen and we see the Byrdes family like the Watchmen ending, they're smiling, but the FBI gets a mail by Mel written by Mel, and it says evidence of a murder.
Like DNA match.
Yeah, and then it ends ambiguous like that. Like, why is he gloating there? I wonder what this was. You know, what is all DNA? And I'm such a smart PI.
The gold, and you guys don't get to win.
Yeah. But they do.
You think you're the Kennedys and the Koch brothers, no.
Yeah, and then the boy's like, hey, Dad, I know how to shoot a gun. Like, so see, I would say this about part 2. It was dumb, just like Mel. It was dumb and smart at the same time. Like, scene by scene, it was good. It's just, I just didn't get the overall thread.
Yeah, so it didn't really have that lingering Breaking Bad ending that I hoped for.
Because Walter's is more, because I think Breaking Bad was just more unafraid of showing protagonists, just like Sopranos. You know why Sopranos is brilliant? It's because they get to show a mob boss crying, or a mob boss almost close to tears, or like in danger of life. But here, even the worst case scenario for Marty was in. I don't know. I don't know if this is because Jason Bateman is just that kind of looking character. Like, you know, have him like tied up and in a shithole where he could die any moment, or have his limb cut off, or have his family I don't know. Just this. I would say the stakes just didn't seem that high. Like after part 1.
True. Part 1, we ourselves kind of felt suffocated.
Yeah.
From the approaching danger.
Yeah.
But we lose a lot of that element in the last season.
Either this should have been 2 more episodes on the same season. Like this 7 episodes just compacted to a movie. Like movie length. Maybe 3 episodes top. Just make it thriller. We don't know. Like erase the Javi mother and then just make Javi go crazy postal since he grabbed power, whatever. Make it that. Or add 3 more episodes, do another rewrite, and then make all of these things connect.
Yeah, so I'm thinking a lot of these characters have been wasted. Oh, and Frank Jr., I like that character, but he was also kind of wasted in this last part.
Yeah.
I was hoping that he would have more part to play in the way the story unfolds.
I don't know, but you could talk like the Kansas City Mafia after season 2 they just became plot devices. Like up to season 2 when I think Buddy was still in season 2. Like that was interesting. But they just didn't play a major role. They were either there to get their dick shot off, or like their boss getting killed by Darlene, and then they were just erased out of the show. It was just kind of sad. And here, like, see, this is the problem with this last part. Like, I didn't like all these characters returning. The lawyer, and then what is that? Is that lawyer a magician? Does he have like hot dial to every politician in the United States of America?
Oh, you mean that what's his name, Jim dude?
Yeah, I mean I like the character, but I just didn't like the way he was written.
I wasn't really convinced that he would ever want to work with Wendy ever again.
Yeah, that Ruth and the other guy revenging was fun. Actually.
Yeah, that actually made more sense.
That was interesting.
Yeah, what's his name, Charles?
Yeah, because I liked him. Yeah, I liked him as a character
because we remember how Wendy fucked him over.
Yeah,
but with Jim, after what
Javi did.
Yeah, after what he had gone through, there was no way he was ever going to work again with Wendy.
Yeah, I know.
I'm surprised that he was living in the same house.
Yeah.
Because remember, the cartel knows where he lives. Why would he stay there?
Yeah, a drug cartel boss threatens to kill me. I'm leaving that town.
Yeah.
No, but see. So let's grade this. Like, we can go on forever, but I feel like we have mixed feelings about this. So shall I go first or you go first?
All right, you go.
I'm gonna give 2 grades. One for part 2 and the season, like the whole series as a whole. Like part 2 for me was average, to be honest. I wanted to give it awesome. I just couldn't get into it that deeply. Like I felt like the Ruth scenes where she's like wondering about like what to do could have been cut off in like half.
I mean, I enjoyed the Nas Illmatic soundtrack.
I love the
the first episode.
I love the music. I'm not complaining about that.
And it also kind of gave me a little hint that she was gonna die.
Yeah.
Like the street life, but yeah, it could have been abridged.
Yeah.
Significantly.
Yeah, because you would think that the cartel would immediately retaliate to that. Like, no matter what politics is going on inside, to the outer world, if your boss just gets killed like that so easily.
And remember Javi's lawyer and the thugs were waiting inside that CEO's house?
Yeah.
I was hoping to see them torture the CEO and kind of like kill her.
Hey, but now that you mentioned that, before I go on, like, that CEO character, I felt like was really underwritten. 'Cause she was such an important character, and before, like, they have to win her over to get the trust. Now she's suddenly, oh, it was Ruth! I'm sorry! And then she, like...
After that stern warning that Javi's mother was going to slash her.
No, but, like, the weird thing about FBI is, don't you think, like... I'm assuming they're a public traded company. Like, FBI, do your job. There's a golden, like, century... case of the century right there. American multinational company buys heroin from Cartel to make medicine. End of story. But anyway, like, so, like, part two was mixed. And now the series as a whole, it was almost awesome. I can't give it awesome because this is how I felt. Like, season 1, oh shit. Season 2, season 3, season 4, part 2. Now it's over. You know what I mean? It started off as a roller coaster ride, and it ended as a baby carriage for me.
Yeah. So, for me, part 2 would be okay. Part 2 would just be about okay. But the season as a whole would be
the series.
I mean, yeah, the series as a whole would be almost pretty awesome. But if I grade the first part of season 4 separately, I would give it an awesome. Because I liked it.
You can't do that. You can't do that because we already did that. We already did each one. This one is for the whole series.
Yeah. Almost pretty awesome. Like you said, season 1 and 2, they were both amazing. And I think it lost a lot of its steam the moment the Byrdes kind of settled in. Like, the moment they opened that casino, I think the steam kind of died off.
Yeah. I mean...
Because remember, the tension and the sense of urgency came from...
Whether they can make it in Ozark or not.
It came from the fact that they had an impossible deadline, an enormous amount of money to launder. But the moment that the casino opened, everything that just became like automatic. It's just assumed that that's done.
Yeah.
So that's where it loses the steam.
Yeah. But let's not go down a memory lane. We talked about all that. Anyway, if you didn't watch Ozark, watch it till season 3 and pretend season 4 doesn't exist. It's still a good show. And we had a good time. But overall, this just goes to show it's very difficult to end a good series. Like, the ending is the most difficult. And they didn't fail drastically, but it was also not
drastically successful.
Yeah. It was just... I think it's really hard to top, like, Sopranos or... But then again, maybe 2 years later, if you rewatch it, we might have a different feeling.
Yeah.
Because we got to watch the whole series from... you know how it's different when we watch it from, like, episode 1 to end, like, again.
Yeah.
Not, like, week by week. It could give us a different feeling. Because I remember, like, Sopranos ending was also shitted on a lot. The screen turning black.
A lot of people saying, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. So maybe we will revisit Ozark again after when we feel like it. But anyway, if you watched Ozark, what did you like it? What you think about it? Leave a reply. And then we'll talk about any movie and shows you want. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
See you next week.
Ba-dum-bum-bum. Damn.